When people start talking about pump-action shotguns, the conversation almost always circles back to the same names: the Remington 870, the Mossberg 500. Those two legends tend to dominate the spotlight. But what about the shotguns that never got the recognition they earned? The models that offered excellent reliability, solid performance, and genuinely unique features, yet somehow ended up overlooked by most shooters. That's what we're focusing on today. We're taking a closer look at 7 of the most underrated pump-action shotguns ever built. These aren't dusty relics that deserve to be forgotten. They're firearms that still command respect and have plenty to offer even today. So let's get right into it. Starting off our list is the Ithaca Model 37. This is one of those shotguns that should get far more appreciation than it usually receives. The feature that immediately sets it apart is its bottom ejection design. Instead of throwing spent shells out the side, the Model 37 ejects them straight downward. That keeps the shooter's sight picture unobstructed and creates a cleaner overall shooting experience. There's another benefit to that design as well, because the action is more enclosed. Dirt, dust, and debris have a harder time finding their way inside. Over time, that can translate into excellent reliability and durability. The outside of the gun is just as impressive. The Model 37 typically wears a beautifully figured walnut stock that gives it a classic appearance. The pump forend features deep grooves that provide a secure grip even when conditions get wet. The receiver often showcases engraved hunting scenes that add a touch of craftsmanship and character. It's the kind of shotgun that looks equally at home in the field, on display in a collection, or sitting in a gun cabinet waiting for its next hunt. The Ithaca 37 was offered in several gauges. You could find it chambered in 12 gauge, 16 gauge, 20 gauge, and even 28 gauge. The 12 gauge version remains the most common. Barrel lengths were available in 24, 26, and 30 inches. Each featured a ventilated rib that helped provide a cleaner and more natural sight picture. When you combine the attractive styling, the wide range of configurations, and its proven performance, it becomes clear that the Ithaca Model 37 is anything but obsolete. It remains one of the hidden gems of the pump-action world and deserves far more recognition than it usually gets. At number 6, we have the Winchester Model 25. This is a shotgun that has spent decades living in the shadow of its famous brother, the Winchester Model 12. The Model 25 was designed as a simpler and more affordable alternative, but don't mistake simpler for inferior. This shotgun had plenty going for it. It was chambered in 12 gauge and offered barrel lengths ranging from 26 inches all the way up to 30 inches. That gave owners flexibility whether they planned to hunt, shoot sporting targets, or keep it around for defensive purposes. The Model 25 also came with multiple choke options. Shooters could choose anything from improved cylinder to full choke, making the gun surprisingly adaptable right from the factory. The heart of the shotgun was a solid steel receiver. That robust construction helped it withstand years of hard use. Its biggest drawback was maintenance. The design wasn't particularly easy to disassemble for cleaning or storage. That could be frustrating compared to some competing models. Still, it made up for that shortcoming in other ways. The shotgun offered a 6-round capacity. That may not sound remarkable today, but it actually exceeded the capacity of many modern shotguns that typically hold 4 or 5 shells. The Winchester Model 25 was produced between 1949 and 1954. Its production life was relatively short. Even so, it earned a reputation as a dependable and rugged working shotgun. If you happen to run across one today, don't dismiss it. Many shooters may have forgotten about the Model 25, but it remains a shotgun that deserves a healthy amount of respect. Next up is the Marlin Model 120. If you've never heard of this shotgun before, you're definitely not alone. It quietly slipped into obscurity over the years and rarely gets mentioned in discussions about classic pump guns. That's a shame because it brought some interesting qualities to the table. Now, let's be honest about its shortcomings. The 12-gauge version weighed roughly 8 pounds. That made it noticeably heavier than many competing pump actions. It also developed a reputation for occasional durability concerns involving the action bars. But despite those issues, the Model 120 had something very unusual working in its favor: its barrel length. One of the most distinctive versions featured a massive 40-inch barrel. That extra length provided impressive range and accuracy compared to what most shooters expect from a pump shotgun. You simply don't see many pump actions configured that way. The shotgun featured an all-steel construction that gave it a solid, substantial feel. Paired with a checkered walnut stock, it projected the kind of classic styling many collectors appreciate. Capacity was also respectable. It could hold 5 rounds of 2 3/4-inch shells. If using 3-inch shells, capacity dropped to 4 rounds. That was still more than adequate for most practical uses. Unfortunately, the Marlin 120 never gained widespread popularity. It remained a niche firearm and never achieved mainstream success. For collectors and enthusiasts who appreciate uncommon vintage guns, though, the story is different. The Model 120 offers a unique blend of old-school craftsmanship and unusually long-range potential. If you ever come across one in excellent condition, it's absolutely worth taking a closer look. Sliding into the number 4 position is the Winchester Model 1897. This shotgun occupies a special place in firearms history. Not only did it introduce several unique features, but many of those innovations were years ahead of their time. The first thing most people notice is the exposed external hammer. That design gives the gun an appearance that almost feels like a giant single-action revolver transformed into a shotgun. But the real headline feature was its famous slam fire capability. With the trigger held to the rear, the shooter could continue firing simply by cycling the pump. Every forward movement of the action would fire another shell. As fast as you could work the forend, the shotgun would keep shooting. That capability made the Model 1897 especially formidable in close-range combat. Its effectiveness became legendary during the trench fighting of World War I. The shotgun was available in both 12-gauge and 16-gauge. Buyers could select barrel lengths ranging from 20 inches all the way up to 30 inches. That variety allowed users to tailor the gun to hunting, defensive use, or general field work. The Model 1897 was also offered in 2 primary configurations. There was the solid frame version, and there was the takedown model. The takedown design allowed the shotgun to be separated quickly, making transportation, storage, and maintenance much easier. Capacity was 6 rounds, combined with its rapid fire potential that made it an extremely capable shotgun for its era. Even today, the Winchester 1897 remains highly respected among collectors, historians, and shooting enthusiasts. Production may have ended long ago, but its influence on pump-action shotgun development is impossible to ignore. Coming in at number 3 is the Mossberg 200K. This vintage shotgun is one of the most overlooked firearms Mossberg ever produced. Collectors who enjoy unusual designs should pay close attention to this one. One of the most fascinating features was its detachable box magazine. The magazine itself held 3 12-gauge shells, but the designers didn't stop there. The shotgun allowed the shooter to load 2 additional shells directly through the top without removing the magazine. That gave it more flexibility than the typical pump shotgun of its day. Another standout feature was the tang mounted safety. Whether you were right-handed or left-handed, it was easy to reach and operate. The shotgun also used a ported barrel to help tame felt recoil that made shooting more comfortable, especially during extended range sessions. The flat rib sight contributed to fast and intuitive target acquisition. Getting on target felt natural and smooth. The Mossberg 200K came equipped with a 28-inch barrel. That length offered a nice compromise between maneuverability and effective range. It also featured an adjustable choke system. Shooters could find tune their shot patterns based on the task at hand. Whether hunting birds or breaking clay targets, the adjustable choke added valuable versatility. Weight came in at approximately 7 pounds and 7 ounces. That made it comfortable enough to carry through long hunting trips or all-day outings at the range. Although the Mossberg 200K has been out of production for years, examples still surface through auctions and private collections. If you find one, it can make a fantastic addition to a vintage firearms collection. At number 2, we have the Smith & Wesson 3000. This is a shotgun that seemed to have everything working in its favor: performance, balance, reliability, looks. Yet somehow, it never received the level of attention it deserved. One of the first things shooters noticed about the Model 3000 was how naturally it handled. The balance felt excellent, and it came to the shoulder quickly and comfortably. That combination made it easy to aim and fast to get on target. The shotgun was offered in multiple configurations. Buyers could choose traditional field models, slug guns, and even tactical variants. The slug version brought some additional advantages. It featured a magazine extension for increased capacity. It could also be equipped with open sights that allowed for more precise shot placement. The Model 3000 used cold hammer, forged barrels, and fixed choke options that made it well suited for everything from clay shooting to hunting game. Internally, it utilized dual action bars. That design contributed to an exceptionally smooth pumping motion. It also enhanced reliability and helped make malfunctions extremely uncommon. The receiver itself was machined from solid steel. As a result, the shotgun developed a reputation for strength and long-term durability. Then there were the aesthetics. The checkered American walnut stock gave the gun a rich and refined appearance. It wasn't just attractive, it also provided a secure grip under a variety of conditions. Although the Smith & Wesson 3000 had a relatively brief production run, it proved itself to be a highly capable shotgun. Many shooters who have spent time behind one consider it among the finest pump actions ever built. And finally, sitting at number 1, we have the Remington Model 31. This may very well be the most underappreciated pump-action shotgun ever produced. One reason it stands out historically is that it was Remington's first side-ejecting pump shotgun. That was a significant development at the time. Instead of ejecting shells downward, the Model 31 threw them out the side. This kept the shooter's view unobstructed and allowed for quicker, smoother follow-up shots and reloads. Early versions featured a traditional walnut stock paired with a checkered fore-end. Later models introduced a ribbed fore-end that allowed for faster and more confident operation. That improvement became especially useful during rapid shooting situations. The Model 31 was available in 12-gauge, 16-gauge, and 20-gauge. That gave shooters plenty of choices depending on their intended use. One of the most practical features was its quick-release barrel system. Using a simple knurled retaining nut, the barrel could be removed in just a matter of seconds. That made cleaning, maintenance, and barrel changes remarkably convenient. But perhaps the most impressive aspect of the Model 31 was the sheer variety available. Remington produced the shotgun in 35 different variants and grades. Some higher-end versions came with factory engraving. Others included ventilated ribs that improved sighting and control. Despite all of its strengths, the Model 31 never enjoyed a particularly long production life. As newer designs entered the market, it gradually faded from the spotlight. That doesn't change what it accomplished. If you ever encounter a Remington Model 31, don't walk past. It's one of the true sleeper classics in pump action shotgun history. So there you have it, 7 pump action shotguns that may never have become household names, yet absolutely deserve more recognition than they receive. Each one brought something valuable to the table. Whether it was innovative engineering, quality craftsmanship, unique features, or solid reliability, every shotgun on this list earned its place. If you happen to run across one of these underrated pump guns out in the wild, don't hesitate to give it a serious look. you might discover a firearm that becomes one of your favorite additions to the collection. That's all for today's video. Thanks for spending some time with us. If you enjoyed the video, make sure to hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, and ring the notification bell so you don't miss future content covering more hidden gems from the firearms world. Take care, stay safe, and we'll see you in the next one.